Bitcoin pulls back after the iShares ETF is removed from the governmental website. And also, a doctor tried to take out his wife with a Bitcoin assassin. This is around the blockchain. Go ahead and hit that like button. We got 4 phenomenal guests. We're going to get right into it. As often as you think about the Roman Empire, he's thinking about the pyramids. It is Hotep Jesus. Hotep, how are you doing today?
Hotep, you're a genius. HotepJesus.com.
I just let Alex Jones speak for me.
Hey, a quick shout out to the Vivek Alex Jones podcast. Just got released in the last, I'd say, 12 hours or so. I'm going to have to check that one out after the show. I recommend you check it out as well. Also on, we have Hawk Mining. He's going to break down some alpha for some mining machines, maybe hitting the market later. Hawk, how are you doing today?
I'm great, man. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
You're also a great character off Cobra Kai. Cobra Kai never die. Also on today, we have Crypto Blood. Crypto Blood, how are you doing? You look like you're feeling relaxed. How are the Bloodlytics treating you?
Crypto Blood, I thought you were street smart, bro. I'm just going to let Ben Armstrong speak for me.
Not too soon, right? Not too soon, chat. And then last but not least, we have Doug Hype Holden. Well, he would never turn into a fur coat. Doug, how are you doing today?
Thanks, DZ. I'm just speaking from my mountain retreat, where I hatch my evil plans and all my murderous schemes. All right.
Okay.
So we're going to talk about some interesting things today, baby.
All right. I can't wait to see the cat on the armchair. I want to see it on the armchair rest. All right. Well, let's lead with Bitcoin drops at the moment about 3% after the BlackRock ETF pulled. I want to show you my favorite chart, which is the 1-minute chart. When we show that, it looks a little scary there. But the IBTC was removed from the DTCC website here. And that is the Depository Trust and Clearing Corporation. Is basically the broker that is going to be doing this. And this is the largest financial clearinghouse in the world, folks. The DTCC clears $2.3 quadrillion worth of stock annually, not billion, not trillion, quadrillion, folks. So we're talking about a pretty large situation there. All right, well, Crypto Blood, you were just talking about this today. What is the Bloodlytics showing you here? I mean, we see this pullback. Was it just off the IBTC being removed, or is this people finally closing that long, opening a short?
I mean, it could be two things. We did bump up against another trend line up there where we stopped. But I was talking about the DTCC with someone earlier today. I swear we live in a simulation. I was explaining to them that the DTCC actually is responsible for all of your stocks, right? Like the certificates. They used to actually hold every stock that's floating, used to have a certificate, a physical certificate. We no longer have that. So you have like multiples and multiples of stocks out there, So that's what I was talking about the DTC earlier about. But it's interesting that comes up. Hey, I think that definitely has something to do with it. Them taking it down. Are they playing a game with us? Who knows? I think it is on the way. The spot ETF. Maybe that kind of leaked and got ahead of everybody, so they wanted to pull back and kind of recalibrate. But I think it's on the way, bro. At this point, it looks like it may come this year. Before the year ends out. So we'll see.
I'm glad you said they're playing games with those. Hotep, I feel like this is Michael Jordan versus Danny DeVito. Is BlackRock pump faking us right now to set us up to sell our Bitcoin to BlackRock at cheap prices?
It's a small club, and you ain't
talking about Danny DeVito? Oh, sorry. I thought you meant the basketball team for a second. Muggsy Bogues. They're literally were small.
Yeah, well, it's a small club, and you're just not in it. It's smaller than Muggsy Bogues.
It's real small.
Yeah, it's really, really small. Well, here's the thing. There's probably two ways to look at this. One, some intern is about to get fired for botching their job, right? So it was a mistake. More than likely not. What this could be is, I hate to say it's market manipulation, but I really what I think it could be, if we're really putting on our tinfoil kufi here, it is basically behavioral testing, right? We make this thing move, we put it up, we make it disappear, we pull the magic trick, and we see how people respond, right? We know that the people at this organization watch this show, so now they're like, let's see what DZ and all those guys are going to say about this, and then we'll reposition and move accordingly. But a lot of this stuff could be behavioral testing.
All right. Well, speaking of behavioral testing, Hawk Mining, people are wondering about the behavior of the miners as we get closer to the halving. Is projected April 2024. I want to ask you pretty
Right.
simply here. Last time we had the March crash, we kind of dumped. The last 6 months before the halving were a little bearish. Typically, it's a little bullish. What are you seeing for this next 6 month period as we get closer to the halving?
Well, from the mining perspective, I mean, we're seeing a lot of people offloading these old machines. I mean, the new Bitmain S21s are just, they're selling out like crazy. I'm running out of real estate. We have a hosting company and I'm running out of real estate. And, what a lot of people don't understand is moving forward with a lot of these big name companies, like, they're investing into hosting facilities. They want that virgin Bitcoin. They don't want that Bitcoin that a lot of other people have owned. A lot of people are forgetting this. So the talk right now in the hosting game is that, companies like JP Morgan and a lot of these other, maybe BlackRock, I don't know, it's just a rumor right now, they are investing in hosting facilities and they are buying up this stuff. So when you see the activity from the hosting side, it follows the trend a little bit of the market. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens at the halving with these machines and how it's going to work.
Yeah, if you look at the biggest holders of the publicly traded mining companies, the Marathon, the Riot, BlackRock, State Street, and Vanguard are all pretty heavily invested in like the top 3 or 4
Right.
players. All right, well, Doug, I want to ask you, between 2 coins here, I know you love ETH, you love your NFTs, you actually like using the blockchain. Sorry, Bitcoin maxis out there. But what are you expecting to perform better for the next, say, 2 months and 7 days before the end of the year? Is ETH going to perform better or is Bitcoin going to perform better as we get closer to New Year's?
Sorry, DZ. I was just admiring my world championship horses.
Clydesdales.
So this is the thing. What do you think? Like, I'm a cat person? I'm not a cat person, DZ. Like, it's so easy to pull the wool over people's eyes out here, right? First of all, we know for a fact that BlackRock is obviously
Here,
just
kitty.
opening up that little door to see all the simps that are going to jump in and manipulate that market, right? We know for a fact. And that is also an indication everybody cares about Bitcoin, right? Like, what do we got over here? We got Vitalik. Who knows what he's doing? He's selling off Ethereum. He's buying Ethereum. We know for a fact that nobody can possibly rug Bitcoin. It's completely impossible. So Bitcoin is the way to go. Okay. I love Ethereum, but you know what? Yesterday I was hosting Twitter Spaces and people are like, hey, I would love to buy an NFT, but I don't want to spend $93 in gas, sir. And I was like, that's a fair point, actually. You know what? That's actually a very good point. So this is the thing, DZ. Bitcoin is what everyone's looking at. It's what every market manipulator, everybody in the world cares about Bitcoin. Ethereum and everything else is nice, but the layer 2s are really what's going to build the future. We all know this. All the people, all the voices in the community, all the Charles, all the Jimmys, everybody's looking to layer 2 to solve problems, to be efficient, to be cost effective. And if Ethereum doesn't figure out their game, Ethereum is going to slowly decline, I believe, and Bitcoin is just going to keep climbing. It's going to keep going. I mean, the rainbow charts, DZ, have you seen them? Yep. It's literally just going this way, and everything's following the rainbow chart. Plus, as you see this beautiful autumn setting here, on this championship ranch, the leaves are turning right now, and that means it's about to become Mo Money November. All right, Bitcoin, everything. I think we're going to be going in this direction right here, just like my championship horses and that are continually winning championships. So
Yes.
Bitcoin by far, DZ, is going to be the winner. Even look now in the charts, it's up. The percentages are dividing. Ethereum can't keep up. So good luck, Vitalik. If I see you, we'll have some cake maybe. But, other than that, good luck, buddy.
I
right,
will say that
go
DZ,
ahead,
we
Blood.
did get ahead. We got ahead of ourselves, in my opinion, seeing that officially the ETF has not been announced, and we're up big. So I
And
think
we're
we're a
just talking
little ahead
about
of
some
ourselves.
potential preceding, potentially.
Right.
And when I did a deep dive, it's mostly so they can get the ticker before everybody else. Is really that was the gist of it. All right, let's talk about Cathie Woods, another big entity in the Bitcoin space here. Well, while everyone else is feeling bullish, Cathie Woods started selling. Let's pull this up real quick. They're selling the Grayscale Bitcoin Trust shares as Bitcoin hits 34K. She's the head of ARK Investment, and they sold 100,000 shares. The interesting data point here was the last transaction she made was a purchase about a year ago. So this is the first instance of selling we've seen since 2022. But before we get too bearish, it's only 2% of their Grayscale Bitcoin Trust holdings there, but it could signal the beginning of the bull market wind down. But then on the other end, critics are saying that's not it at all. She's just divesting her portfolio because ARK is going to have their own Bitcoin ETF. So they're reducing exposure to some of the spot ETFs out there. This isn't her only selling action yesterday. She also sold about 40,000 Coinbase shares. I think it's trading around $90. So pretty good sell right there. I think she was buying heavily in December of last year, around $36. So not hey, feeling pretty good about the coin sell there. Now, Hotep, I want to ask you here, why do you think Kathy is selling? Do you think she's just, hey, getting ready, sell 1% here, 2% there as we get higher and higher and higher? Or is she just going all in on the ARK Invest ETF, potentially saying maybe she thinks it's getting approved?
Well, there's a couple of things here. One of them was the market outlook for 2025. Now, the market outlook from 2025, I think according to Jamie Dimon out of JP Morgan Chase, said 2025 doesn't look too good for the economy. So on one hand, this could be a situation where she's saying we need to increase our cash reserves. But I think it might be more of a portfolio reallocation. So we have to look at is, what is she buying? Not what she's selling, but what she's buying. So it's very interesting to see, okay, she sold this little bit. It's only 2%, right? A very small amount of the shares. But what is she going to shift to? Where is she going to put that money at? That's what I really want to know.
All right. It'll be interesting to see if everything is approved at once. And I want to share this. Is Jeff Safard. He's the Bloomberg analyst for ETFs. If ARK is approved for a spot Bitcoin ETF, we'll likely put that ETF at the number one holding in ARK and then dump Grayscale. But then there's an obscure rule involving capital gains taxes. So it's a lot of mumbo jumbo where the accountants and the lawyers, they're certainly eating right now. All right. Well, Hawk, I want to ask, you are now the CEO of ARK. What are you going to do in the CEO's shoes right here? Are you continuing to sell, or are you saying, you idiots, don't sell anything till 2025?
Well, we have a saying in the mining community. It's called buy the rumor, sell the news, right? And I'm holding at this point. Nobody knows what's going to happen here. Everybody's speculating who's going to do what. Oh, this person sold all their stuff. I mean, I was reading something the other day that somebody was a bullish signal that Michael Saylor's company made $745 million. I mean, it's all over the place. Everybody's all over the place. I'm holding until 2025 because after that halving, traditionally, what do we see, right? So for me, it's the long-term game, 100%.
All right, Chump Change, mining and crypto, interesting name. She saw an opportunity and she took it. Kathy is smart on this move. She knows we just topped out. KO Kev, Hawk is dumping. Hawk, he just said he's not, folks. All right, he just contradicted you. All right, well, Crypto Blood, I kind of want to touch back on what you were saying earlier, and maybe our sentiment is wrong right now. What are your thoughts on that? Are we all feeling a little too bullish right now?
I mean, we are ahead of ourselves. We haven't gotten the news. So if we get the news, I'm assuming, okay, so look, long term, yes, ETF, spot ETF is great. It's going to put a put under the market, okay? But in the short run, if we run up this fast and we don't have the news, well, when the news comes out, as Hawk just said, you're going to sell the news. So that's my case in point on that situation. However, I want to just touch on Kathy and her selling 2%. Listen, man, the smart money sells into the rally. You don't sell at the bottom. So she's going to be selling into these rallies. And that's what, that's what they're trained to do. Us retards like to buy at the top, like right now, and then sell at the bottom. So, hey, smart money, man, follow it.
Smart money. All right. We love seeing it. And I would say right now, selling the top always seems to be a good thing. Sell when there's a spike of greed. All right. Well, Doug, I want to ask you about someone, we're getting closer to Thanksgiving. We're getting closer to the holidays here. I know you're going to be on the ranch, probably serving bison steaks. But when we're getting closer to this, we're going to have relatives ask us, hey, should I get some Bitcoin? 2021, I was very uncomfortable saying, yeah, you should buy at $58,000. But, a year later, I was very comfortable saying, yeah, you should buy at $20,000. At what level are you no longer comfortable recommending, hey, that's a good price to buy in at? What's Doug Hype's? All right, that maybe cool off and wait for the next cycle level.
Well, you better cowboy up, DZ, all right? Because we're going to be riding high, all right? This Brahma Bull is taking us to the top. I usually don't come out and say these things, but my people on the street are telling me that Bitcoin, we could see 250, 300K within a year possibly. So we're on the uprise right now, all right? And let me tell you something, like you guys are correct in your assessment, all right? People are shelling their profits, but we are on the way up, and you are divesting slightly as you go up, right? You're not like pulling out. And also, people like Kathy, they have the info before we do. They know that BlackRock was just a little bit of a pump fake, okay? You know what I mean? It's to test the market. We pumped up. It's going to dip a little bit. And then, maybe a week or two from now, it's going to come back. And then they're going to, buy the dip and then bring it back up, baby. So that's what I'm talking about. Giddy up, get in the saddle. I mean, I don't wear a saddle. I go bareback. I don't know about you guys, but we are going this way to the moon, baby.
All right. Doug has secret children.
Don't show that private key on that screen there, brother. Don't show that private key. I see flashing that cell phone.
Hey, he does go unprotected. He said he doesn't go in with protection, folks. All right, let's talk about the Bitcoin hitman. The less serious but the more fun story here. Let's just share this headline. The headline kind of tells the tale here. Georgia doctor James Wan admits to offering dark web hitman $16,000 in Bitcoin to kill his girlfriend in cold-hearted murderous plot. That was thwarted by the FBI. We keep scrolling here. That is the doctor in question right there, James Wan. Good haircut for 54 years old. But so $25K. One of the worst parts of the story, he accidentally sent $8K to the wrong address. His test transaction was $8,000. Well, it got lost. Then he later sent $17,000. Later dropped to around 17 in today, 16 back then. Well, he turned to the dark web back in April 22 to initiate this. This isn't like an old case from the early days of Silk Road. He said, 2022, I guess I'll use Bitcoin to hire a hitman. Yes, those people do exist, and he is a doctor. Makes you think twice about doctor recommendations, huh? Well, after providing looks like he's recently sentenced to 8 years just in the past week here in prison for paying the hitman. 8 years. Well, sentencing is going to happen in January. So we'll see how this ends up playing out. Well, hey, it was thwarted. It was thwarted, folks. So it didn't actually pull through. Well, Hotep, I just got to get your take here. In today's, let me not set the table here. What are your thoughts on this story?
All right, let's really dissect this story. First of all, I want to know, what the hell did the wife do? Is there, did he find text messages from BitBoy in her phone? I don't know what's going on. I don't know.
That's pretty good.
I don't know what's going on. I want to know, what is his reasoning for that, right? Next. I had to do that.
Three sides to a story.
It's always three sides to a story.
Oh, man.
Next,
holy.
If you're going to commit a murder or try to commit a murder, first of all, you should not try to commit a murder. What you should do is do the damn thing your damn self. There's enough information. I mean, use your Tor browser and figure out how to do it yourself. Figure out what acid you need to throw out in the bathtub, the lime you need for the burial site. I don't know. Do this on your own. You don't do your dirt by your lonely, is what hip hop say, right? Next, if you're going to do a transaction like murder, at least use, a Mixer or Monero and do your transaction. Lastly, what I'm going to say is, if you hire a hitman online, you got to know you're hiring a federal agent, okay? Yep. That's not how hitman transactions go down. Okay, that's just not how it happens. Usually when you hire a hitman, usually it's your cousin, your wife's brother, somebody somebody you vetted. Your cousin that's a gang member, he'll take it for a pack of cigarettes and a blunt. Usually that's how this stuff goes down. If you're hiring somebody online, an anonymous source, to be a hitman and kill your wife, you got to know you're hiring a federal agent.
All right. The feds are in the chat right now. Are we going to change the title to 3 tips to easily hire a hitman? I want to pull back to the picture of James. The shot, it's almost gone. He's 54, but he looks 34. He's going to do 8 years and come out looking 37. I would say that's probably pretty accurate. Well, Hawk, you kind of have a good understanding with this since you do mine Bitcoin. You kind of see the genesis of these coins and, you know, how easy it is to track, kind of like you said, the virgin coins and how easy it is to track the older coins. We have this conception that Bitcoin is good for criminals. When will we lose that distinction? Because I think we all know that is not true.
It's so stupid. It's an argument from a certain political side. I mean, when we sold when salt was worth its weight in gold, did we just pay people in salt? I mean, what are we doing here? Cash has been used for 10 times more the criminal aspects and crimes in history. I mean, look, I've been in law enforcement for 8 years, no longer full time, got to take care of some family stuff. But anyway, everything that I've ever seen, it doesn't matter whether it's Bitcoin, it's cash. Criminals and bad people are going to use anything they can and manipulate anything they can. So my fear is that this is going to go into the hands of people like Senator Elizabeth Warren and these people who are just going to go, you see, it's bad and criminals are using it. Oh, okay. Like they didn't launder money with cash and all this other stuff for the last 200 years. Like, get out of here with that stupid argument. So in my opinion, you know, I don't know. Listen, Bitcoin, look, it forces people to be truthful because if you have the address, you can literally track it all the way back. I mean, the FBI's got a whole division on this already. Like they can track crypto transactions all the way back. And if you think that they're behind, they're not. They're about 10 years ahead of whatever you guys think. So trust me when I tell you, it's, you know, it just is ridiculous. I'm afraid it's going to fall into some stupid political narrative. That's what I'm afraid of, honestly.
All right. So, now I want to throw on the backwards cap. People said, you look like my cousin. I would say it's pretty accurate. Pretty accurate. All right, that's a good one.
Close, very close.
Normally, not so much. All right, we got it.
What about me, guys? What about me?
Crypto Blood. You know what? If I get a lot of that Miami Sun, I might get closer, but you know, I think I still have a little bit ways to go. All right. Well, Crypto Blood. You know, I'm interested. What were your thoughts on this as well? I mean, you know, we talk about Bitcoin being good for criminals. You can talk about the hitman.
Yeah, I was going to break down how to get the hitman done, but since we got 12 in the building, Hawk Mining, I can't say anything.
That's in chat right now.
Oh, man, Hey, look, you want an honest perspective? I'll give it to you. And that's right. It's a complete BS argument when people say, oh, crypto can be used for this and all this other stuff. Get out of here. That's all that. I mean, crime is crime no matter what you use, what payment system.
This is how you hire a hitman. You take your right hand and put your left hand out, and you put the money in the left hand, and you go do it yourself, motherfucker.
Put gas in your car and then go do it.
If you're gonna do it yourself. So you ain't got nobody to snitch on you. That's how you get it done, baby.
All right.
So if you can't kill somebody yourself, if you don't have the heart to kill somebody, don't go hire nobody to kill somebody.
All right. And of course, you know, we're all talking about inside of the metaverse. We don't recommend doing any of this.
Of course,
in real
the
life,
metaverse.
It's all in the metaverse. All right, Doug. You know, I do want to ask you: will Bitcoin ever shake the distinction that is good for criminals, or will the fiat system just always perpetuate that lie?
I'm glad you asked me that question, DZ, because let me tell you something. Like right now, it's like the Wild West. Where are we at? Are we at the Mississippi? Are we at St. Louis? Right? We're on our way to this gold rush that's coming up, right? But you think about it in frontier land, right? Like when people first started settling the West, like it was like no law, right? But then guess who showed up? Wyatt Earp, bro. You know what I'm saying? Bitcoin is early, you know, and so people are still figuring out, but they can now track you. I mean, people have been caught now. How many doctors have been caught with murdering Bitcoin plots? Multiple, okay? So if you're a doctor and you're trying to murder, you will be caught, bro. Like, what are you even doing, right? So we're now catching up to where people are getting caught. We are able to track people more often. Law enforcement is paying more attention. A year or two ago, people were probably getting away scot-free with stuff. They thought they could do whatever, but, you know, gold, what are we talking about? Salt, pallets of fiat. These things are being used all over the world constantly. Like how many cargo ships are being sent into the Middle East full of pallets, full of fiat, doing all kinds of things, you know, all the way up until today. All right. So we can't just point to Bitcoin, to Ethereum, to any of this stuff. We got to be nice. We got to treat people properly and not murder them, especially doctors, DZ. Like, what is this, bro? Like, okay, so now we have a contest of like, what profession in the world is the smartest dumb person? Is it lawyers? Is it doctors? Is it YouTube hosts? Is it Bitcoin aficionados?
There you go.
Like, who? Which? Look, present company excluded. We've seen many really interesting happens with YouTube hosts in the past, month or two. Okay, so but there's a thing. Who is the smartest dumb person, DZ? That's my real question. All right, like, are you balanced? Do you actually think about what you're doing in life? Are you just out there in the streets, bro? What are you doing as a doctor? Are you like doing brain surgery one day and then murdering the next day on the Bitcoin network? Like, how does this even make any sense, dude? I don't know. Like, it's. And why is every murder plot involve a doctor, DZ?
Well,
I need answers.
And then not only that, Georgian people named James, like we just did the James Zong thing. Let's show him one more time here. It's just James Wan pleaded guilty to seeking out a hitman on the dark web, an attempt to have his girlfriend murdered. I don't know, folks. I don't know.
That's a Bitcoin murder right there.
Don't hire hitman off the dark web. It is the feds. And don't try to use Bitcoin
are you
for your
related,
illicit activity.
DZ? Hold on. Put that next to DZ's face. Are you related?
Wait a minute. I mean,
hold on.
We have the same haircut, and a similar
you got the
skin tone.
The smile.
Smile. All right, my fiance is watching right now. Like,
though,
I don't think so, brother.
All jokes aside, though, the agencies, bro, they really, even if they can't crack what has gone on chain right now, they're collecting all this data. So at any point in the future, when they can crack these encryptions, you're assed out.
Yep.
So don't, as Hawk Mining said, as 12 said, don't do anything on the blockchain.
Hey, James Zong caught 11 years after he hacked Silk Road. 11 years later, he was arrested. So just a little food for that.
Let me tell you guys something as far as technology goes.
All right, go ahead.
Sorry, DZ, I got to say something. In the 1950s, they had a whole underground place where they can track phone calls. In the 1950s, when it comes to Bitcoin, okay, we have an education problem here in the United States and in the space in total. We have to tell people, hey, look, with any new technology, you can look back at world wars, you can look back at major conflicts. Any new technology has had nefarious actors in it. Everything from rockets, planes, computers. I mean, think about when computers came out. Anything's going to be used in a bad space. So, we really gotta educate people on what Bitcoin is, how to transact safely. Hey, this is, and really tell them, hey, look, this is not like cash. If anything, Bitcoin is worse than cash because you can track the transactions.
Yeah, it really is.
If I give Crypto Blood $100 in in the Starbucks parking lot, that's it. Ain't nobody gonna know nothing after that. With crypto, I can see every single thing you did.
Yep. And
every single thing.
And to that point, I want to share this picture. Then we'll pass it to Hotep here. This AT&T building was outed out by Edward Snowden of being a secret NSA surveillance center that was located in the heart of Manhattan. So, but with that said, Hotep Jesus, you end up taking it home. So, Hotep, go ahead, leave us with some parting thoughts, please, sir.
Yeah. So, as far as the illegal stuff is concerned, don't forget Senator Menendez caught bribery charges. Yeah, that was paid in gold. So I don't want to hear the whole thing about Bitcoin.
Exactly. It's so ridiculous. Anything with monetary value, anything with monetary value is going to be used for good and bad. It's a BS argument. Let's just hope it doesn't get into it ends up somewhere on CNN or Fox News.
It's got to be a favor for a favor. That's the only way you can't get tracked. I'll do this for you and you do this for me in the future. There you go. No, nothing exchanged.
There was a report, and I think it was by the FBI in 2021. It said less than 1% of all crypto transactions were for illegal purposes.
That is correct.
So
it is correct. It is correct.
And there's no telling how far away.
But how do we know?
That's
the thing about those, though, Hotep. How do we know only 1%? So we know all the 99%.
So what they do is, so the way that they analyze this, the way that they analyze it is they take all the financial crimes, right? and then they see what monetary system was used in each financial crime, and they average out a number, and that's how they get below that 1%.
And
So they'll say,
number one, shell corporations is still one of the biggest terrorist financing options right now, at least what I was looking into yesterday. But guys, that is all we have time for. Hotep Jesus, where can they find your stuff at real quick?
Yeah, subscribe to my YouTube channel. I'm Hotep Jesus. Currently, my job is to track CBDCs and how they develop around the world. And I have fun doing that. So I've changed my bio to now I'm the CBDC tracker. So that's what I'm known for. Also, I cover econ topics and current events. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. Subscribe to my Rumble. It's much better over there. Thank you, DZ, for having me.
All right, Rumble, one of the last bastions of free speech. We also have Hawk Mining. Make sure you check out all his content. Crypto Blood. We love having Crypto Blood on. And then Doug Hype, of course. So links are going to be in the description below. Make sure you check them out. Also, check out Link 2. If you want to do some accredited investment, we have Drew working on a video right now. It's going to blow you away. That's all we got. See you folks tomorrow.